Good afternoon everyone. Today we're going to be making a lovely Spanish chickpea with tomato and spinach. So we have our ingredients in front of us here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop all the spinach up. I'm going to dice the onion and I'm going to cross chop the garlic, and then we'll start cooking. The ingredients we're using today for our Spanish chickpea with tomato and spinach are olive oil, onion, garlic cloves, we have cumin, coriander and paprika, 1 tin of chickpeas that I've drained, and we're going to use the juice from the chickpeas a bit later on. We need raisins, spinach leaves, a tin of tomatoes and some salt and pepper. The first thing we're going to do, I've chopped all my vegetables up so that I've diced the onion, cross-chopped the garlic, and I've just sliced the spinach. So now we're going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil into our pan. We want that to get nice and hot. And then we're going to cook our onions until they're just slightly soft. Pop those in. And once they're nice and soft, we're going to add the cumin, coriander and paprika. And then we're going to add the garlic. Okay, as you can see, they're just starting to colour. So we don't want them to colour too much. We're going to add our other ingredients. So we've got the cumin and coriander and the paprika and the garlic. So we'll just give that a nice stir. So we're just going to cook that until it's fragrant. So that's just starting to smell lovely. And add our chickpeas, our spinach and the raisins. And give that a nice stir, cook that round. Just going to cook this for a few minutes. This is such a lovely dish. This is one of my favourite dishes, I think. Okay, and now we're going to add the tomatoes. Now I'm using whole tomatoes and I'm just breaking them down a little bit. You can use fresh tomatoes as well if you want to. Give that a stir, and then we're going to add half a cup of the juice from the chickpeas as well. I'm just going to add half a cup of the juice. Okay. So we want this nice and thick, so we're just going to cook this down until the juice has thickened up nicely, because everything is basically cooked now. So it's just warming up the chickpeas, and the spinach doesn't take long to cook. But we do want it to come down a little bit so it thickens and the flavour's all lovely and rich. Okay, so we'll just leave that cooking for a while and come back to it, probably about 5 minutes at the most, I'd say. And don't forget, taste and add salt and pepper if you want to. It might not need it, but that's entirely up to your taste buds, really. Okay, that's bubbling away nicely. Now I've just had a little taste. I'm just going to have a little taste of this and see what I think, if it needs any salt. Yes, I think we should put just a little bit of salt. I'm just going to sprinkle a bit of salt in. And some pepper. Give that a nice stir. That looks lovely. It smells just beautiful. The raisins in this is just such a lovely flavour with the sweetness of the raisins. Obviously, if you don't like the sweetness of the raisins, you don't have to have the raisins in them. I love the raisins in them. So I'm just going to have another taste. Yeah, that's perfect. So that needs to cook down for a little bit longer. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. Just a little bit hot on, just a bit hot. So between 5 and 7 minutes, I'd say, for this to be nicely cooked. So I'm going to leave that for a little bit longer. So here we have it, our lovely Spanish chickpeas with spinach and tomato. That's all for this afternoon, so thanks very much guys, and I'll see you next time. Okay, here's the finished dish. So beautiful. I've just tasted it. Tastes absolutely delicious. So it's a Spanish chickpea with tomato and spinach. Now I'm about to make some falafels for dinner, so I'm going to have this as a side dish for my falafels. But obviously you can eat it like this, or you can add it as a side dish with something else. We did Spanish rice in class, which is another dish you can add with it. But absolutely lovely.